Never felt more like singing the blues. City win, United lose, oh City. You got me singing the blues. Come on, City. Manchester City have just beat Burnley 2-0 while that lot on the other side of town lost 4-2 today. You got to take those moments every now and then. Hello to everyone here joining in the chat. It's good to see so many people here. Come on, City, man. Absolutely missed. Genuinely missed club football, and it's good to be back talking about Manchester City after a Premier League game. Of course, I would also like to talk a little bit about OneFootball to you guys. Please go and click the link in the description below. Download OneFootball, help support my channel. It's absolutely fantastic. It's where you get all your Manchester City news, all the information, all the stats, all the breaking transfer news and all that kind of stuff from across the world of football. Not just Manchester City, of course. You can laugh at our rivals, Manchester United, if you want to. You can download stats on there and look how poor they are in games against Leicester. Basically, you can get whatever you want from OneFootball if you want to. So do me a big favour. Do me a massive favour. Click the link in the description below. Massively appreciated. How is everyone? Welcome back to another video. I didn't do a watch long because I had a bit of a headache, to be honest, man. I want to wear headphones for a while. I needed to take it a little bit easy. I've been a bit tired recently. But this game did wake me up and bring me back to this earth and got my senses firing because we got the game. We got the performance that we actually needed. It wasn't a classic game, but you got to remember that not every game needs to be a classic game to be part of a successful season. All you got to do is keep the pace when times are difficult. And I think it's fair to say that after international break with all the players working really hard and traveling and all that kind of stuff, sometimes you just need to get the job done. And today against Burnley, well, that's exactly what we did. That was genuinely just enough for this Manchester City side today. And there was some very interesting moments throughout that game. But largely, it was the kind of game that you just forget about. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It just comes and goes. You don't remember this in a title-winning season or whatever. You don't remember this a few months later. You just go, oh yeah, I remember that goal from De Bruyne kind of performance. Yeah, it was all right. It was sort of forgettable. But that's absolutely fine. It's the kind of performance that maybe some of our rivals don't always find. And I'm very happy with that. I would appreciate you all hitting that like button if you don't mind, and please do hit the subscribe button. 58,433 last time I checked. Let's get to 60k if you don't mind. It would be, of course, massively appreciated. But either way, this performance today for me, it was fine. It was genuinely fine. And that's okay. I mean, I think we started for what it's worth. Manchester City started excellently. Honestly, we were playing with Burnley. We really started. I thought it was going to be another 5-0, man. I thought we were going to batter them. Another Hawaii, as someone once said to me. Hawaii 5, you get it. Thought it was going to be that eventually, but it didn't really obviously materialise, but that's sort of fine if we're being honest. I mean, we started really well. It did get a little bit sloppy. The players did look a little bit leggy and so on, but we did kind of maintain our composure in the second half. Whatever Guardiola said did seem to work, and even though we weren't quite at our scintillating best at times, we did get the 3 points that we required. What we really need now, is Brentford to do us a favour. I'm looking at the Premier League table right now. We're currently sat in second, 17 points, with Liverpool obviously on 18 after impressive performance today. But if Brentford do us a favour today against Chelsea, all of a sudden things are starting to look really interesting. Come on, Brentford. I just want to be there or thereabouts, and we are there or thereabouts, having played a lot of teams, and the fixtures start to look really favourable for us. It was a weird performance in terms of the actual lineup, I guess, mainly because we had a few players rested. No Kyle Walker in the team today, no Ruben Diaz, which of course saw a first start of the season for John Stones, and he was good actually, to be honest. Ake, of course, as well as Sarah pointed out, had a solid game at left back. Yeah, but he played at left back today, which was an interesting choice, but it was probably a necessary choice because we haven't really got the fullback options, though it was good to see Zinchenko on the bench. I'm going to guess it's a little bit too soon for him, but Zinchenko and Gundogan being back on the bench is a good sign, of course, for the squad depth. But it was very much a makeshift team in some senses. Of course, without another spare fullback, fully fit at the moment. Well, Zinchenko's there, but you know what I'm saying, fully fit in terms of actually play games. And of course, with no Ferran Torres, no Gabriel Jesus, no Ederson today, there was always going to be a few changes, and that was necessary. We had no choice. It literally was necessary. But all I mean, it probably is necessary in general to keep the squad a little bit fresh. It was the kind of game which was a bit frustrating where we could have probably won like like honestly comfortably, which will frustrate a tiny bit, and there was plenty of chances where we absolutely ballooned them over the bar, but ultimately it won't really matter. I thought Rodri was decent. I actually agree with Yash there in the chat. Yash Palmer saying Rodri goes unnoticed, but he has the most impact on the team. That's a big claim, Yash. He's definitely up there at the moment, man. He definitely is up there. I'm not sure if he has the biggest impact, but he definitely has a big impact, and I cannot deny that. I love him, man. Absolutely love him. Bernardo, of course, alongside him was fantastic as always. He probably should have scored, if I'm being honest, another goal, because Bernardo, like, he went through a goal and just kind of did a David Silva and turned around and didn't shoot, and it was like, why are you doing that, man? But he did score, of course, to break the deadlock, and he looked really good at times today. But Bernardo, of course, what I like about Bernardo right now is he looks like he's enjoying his football again, and I'm really happy about that. Genuinely, there's a bit of joy in his game, and he looks comfortable. He looks happy. Obviously, as well, celebrating with the fans. You get an adrenaline rush celebrating with the fans like you can't possibly get from a sterile, empty stadium. I was lucky enough at one point to be in the stadium last season for a couple of times during the games when I was on Manchester City's We're Not Really Here show. And it was weird, man. It was weird. It's a weird feeling. You definitely don't get the same. You don't get the same vibe. You don't get the same sense of like energy and all that kind of stuff. And it does feel a little bit soulless at times. It really, really does. So for me, obviously, I can understand why Bernardo probably was a little bit miserable at times last year. But right now, he looks happy, and I honestly think the fans and life being back to normal to a certain extent in this country will definitely be helping his own personal situation. But he's a happy Bernardo right now, and a happy Bernardo is a happy Stephen and a happy Manchester City, and that's all I want personally. I'm very happy for him. I must admit we weren't particularly great going forward. I think De Bruyne was a mixed bag. I actually tweeted it'd be nice to have Kevin De Bruyne back because he was playing kind of passively is the way I could put it. A couple of nice crosses, but he looked relatively on the periphery. But then, of course, he went and absolutely walloped a Thunderbastard into the back of the net, which was an incredibly Kevin De Bruyne thing to do. I absolutely love it. But basically, other than that, though, I mean, Mahrez, I thought, unfortunately, was so wasteful, man. Mahrez should have had about two or three goals. He was really, don't get me wrong, I think he's absolutely brilliant, but he was wasteful. And also, Sterling was wasteful as well. Of course he was. Those two didn't really do themselves much a favour. I don't think Foden had his best game today either. Even though he was involved in the first goal, I think Foden still was a little bit on the... I guess we've got such high expectations of Foden these days that when he doesn't perform that particularly well, it kind of stands out. Brian says Stephen is being generous. Sterling needs to go. Not good enough. Did I say? All I said he was poor. I mean, I feel he had a poor game. I mean, I didn't say start him every week. He's perfect. I love him. He should definitely be Manchester City in 2 years. What do you mean? Well, I don't get what you mean by that. Like, I didn't say anything other than he played badly, you know. So I'm confused by that. Like, people add meaning and words to what I've said when I never said it, which I don't really get why you would do that personally. Foden deserved that pen. Possibly did, Joseph. Yeah, possibly did. I don't think Foden was brilliant, Xavi. Maybe I've missed something there. I thought he was a little bit quiet today, but I guess, you know, opinions, we've all got them, I guess, and maybe I'm wrong. But Sterling was poor. Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Joe. In terms of everyone else on the pitch, Laporte had a weird game. He was fine, largely, but he had a couple of like head gone kind of moments where he was being a bit silly, Laporte. But it will happen. It will happen. Zach Steffen, of course, as well, saved us quite a lot with a save through and goal with Cornet. And I'm happy about that. Yes, I'm here. City win, United lose, always. It's the best thing in the world. But overall, this was fine. Cancelo was really good at times as well in the first half, and then he quietened off a little bit in the second half, but he did have a really sparkling like 25 minutes where him and Bernardo were just doing beautiful little passes between each other, and it was great. It was genuinely great. Yash Palmer saying, add Haaland to this team and we're easily winning the septuple. Yo, do you know what? Did I say Haaland? I did say Haaland. I wasn't sure if I said Palmer then. That's your name, Palmer. I'm getting confused because I'm tired. Haaland, yeah, with Haaland in this team, we absolutely beast everyone. Let's be honest. Haaland adds a level of clinicism which would be frightening for our opponents. Haaland is a fantastic footballer, as we all know. I would love him at Manchester City. Hopefully he ends up Manchester City. Hopefully he does the right thing, because honestly, we would be unstoppable. Wear a blue shirt again, Haaland. You did it when you were a kid. You wore a Manchester City shirt several times when you were a youngster. You had Balotelli on the back. Let young Manchester City fans have Haaland Haaland on the back of their shirt. Do the right thing, mate. Do the right thing. I am a little bit concerned about Solskjaer getting sacked. I'm generally concerned. United are currently sat where they're in fifth. Is that right? They got outclassed by Leicester today. And United's games coming up, man. They've got Liverpool, Spurs, us, Chelsea, Watford, Arsenal, and so on. And they could be. I don't want him getting sacked, man. I don't want to get him sacked. Like Haaland is the gift that keeps on giving. I love him, man. Please, Haaland, Solskjaer. I'm getting my words mixed up today. Apologies. Tiredness and headaches. That's what's causing it. Don't sack Solskjaer. He needs more time. He needs more time, man. He needs faith from the board. He needs, the great managers need several years, if I'm being honest. That's what they need. So give him more time and everyone will be really, really happy there. We all want him to stay in the job, Renners. We all want him to stay. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those days. You're probably right, Sarah, about Grealish featured. You wouldn't have had an impact either. Maybe not. But I think it was probably sensible as well to see a few players on the bench today. They can't play every week. Diaz probably does need a rest. Grealish has played a lot of football. He probably does need a rest too. It was nice to see Cole Palmer get on, of course, only a minute or two. But it does feel a little bit like Cole Palmer's getting the young Phil Foden treatment. If we start beating teams with a few goals, Cole Palmer will probably be on the bench and he probably will get some minutes. So I'm hoping that we start, let's have a look at our fixtures. I'll try and get them up on screen, actually. Let me get the fixtures up on screen. Let me see what we've got coming up. Let me jump over to here. Oops, I've got the wrong headlines up there. Let me get rid of that. It's all going crazy over there. Oh, what's going on? What have we done at the bottom? Let me sort this out. There we go. That's sort of all right. It just doesn't quite fit. Let me just sort that out for you. I'll get the fixtures up now. Where are we? So these are the games we've got coming up right now. So there's a Google search of the document. So let's have a look. Manchester City's fixtures coming up. These are the games we got coming up, of course. So we've obviously just played Burnley, beat them 2-0. Then we've got Club Brugge on Tuesday as well. Brighton away, which will be interesting as well. Obviously West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Then Crystal Palace, Club Brugge, United, of course, Everton, PSG, West Ham. To be honest, Aston Villa, Watford, there's a bunch of and then Wolves, of course, a bunch of very winnable games in a row for us in the Premier League now. So if you look at just our Premier League games, we've got Brighton, Crystal Palace, United, Everton at home, which is decent. West Ham at home. Aston Villa away would be a tricky one. Watford, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle. All of a sudden it starts to look really, really interesting. I do trust us to get a whole bunch of points there, while hoping at the same time. Do you know what I really hope for? I genuinely hope that that United get something from Liverpool next week, which would be really, really, really huge. Because if they do that, it keeps Solskjaer in the job, and obviously, of course, sets Liverpool back a little bit, which would be massive for us. Stephen Mint looking mint in blue. Thank you so much, man. It's a Vans t-shirt. I really like it too. Sterling, thoughts on Sterling announcing that he's open to leaving. I mean, I guess what he said is that he wants first team football. I wouldn't expect him to say anything different. I didn't really read too much into that because I don't really think it was a big deal, if that makes sense. Obviously, he said he wants to stay at Manchester City, but he also has to think about his football. So I think it's kind of fair, obviously it's on him as well to get first team football, so that's fine. It certainly didn't warrant for me, though, a kick-off, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't asked about it. I didn't want to kick off about it because it didn't feel like a big deal, and it felt kind of fine, really. It just is what it is. Exactly, breaking news, footballer wants to play football, says Xavi. It's just what it is. I mean, he probably is open to leaving if it means he doesn't get game time. That's fair. I mean, I don't think he was being. I don't really think it needs the anger that M. Keller put in the chat there, which I don't think he needs to give that level of anger, mate, because I think he's just being honest, and that's totally fair. But at the same time, as long as he works hard, his form isn't good enough at the moment. But if he carries on working hard, I mean, that's what Guardiola asks for him, and hopefully he'll get better as well. Either way, let's worry about Sterling in a few weeks' time. There's no point moaning too much about selling him or doing this or whatever, because whatever we say right now, it's October. We can't sell him now, even if you want to sell him. He's going to have to play because we've got certain players out. Just get behind him, support him is all I can say. I do think his form isn't good enough at the moment. Of course it isn't. And he's been in a bad bit of form for a while, but I have no intention whatsoever in turning against him, because quite literally, it won't accomplish anything. What we've got to bear in mind is, even if you think Sterling's playing crap, which he probably is, and he is at the moment. I mean, in general, like me sitting here moaning about it, it's not going to help, I know it. It's like some things sometimes don't always need repeating, if that makes sense. Shit form, really shit form, but I'm not going to sit there and harass him. I'm not going to moan about him on social media constantly. I'll answer a question someone asks me, but I'm not going to sit here and bitch about Sterling constantly, because I don't think it really accomplishes anything. I think it feeds into negativity that I think everyone deep down knows the same thing. It's just very much like, it's crap, man. He's playing crap. But that's as much you're going to get from me about Sterling, because I don't think there's anything more I can add to it. It's been said 1,000 times, So either way, I think it's going to be interesting. Let's see how it goes. I trust Guardiola to manage it correctly. That is my final thoughts on that. Not my final thoughts. We'll talk about it again. But my ultimate thoughts is that I do trust Guardiola to manage the Sterling situation. And that's it, really. Renner's saying we should have kept Tommy Doyle instead of loaning him and not having two goalkeepers on the bench. I mean, to be honest, man, I do think if the EDS weren't playing, we would have had someone else on the bench. Obviously, I feel like maybe they felt like they weren't going to get on, so they didn't bother. But Kieran Slicker was there, of course. It's good to see him get a bit of experience with the first team. But yeah, he was obviously never going to get on or anything like that. To be honest, if Tommy Doyle starts playing over there, that'd be good. I mean, if he does start playing games, I'll be happy for him. That'd be better than sitting on the bench at us, because, I mean, he's done a lot of that. It does feel like Cole Palmer is going to get some chances, which I quite like, actually. I think we need that as well. I think we need to see Cole Palmer get some few chances. But 6 games for City now, Cole Palmer. He's starting to look confident in the Manchester City shirt as well. He might get some game time against West Ham as well, potentially in the Carabao. We'll have to see. Yeah, I agree with Electric to Shock, who says someone has to take one for the team. We have holes in the squad. We have 0 number 9s, and Sterling has to be shoved in there, unfortunately. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think it has to be. And as Electric Shock has said, Torres getting injured has fucked us badly. The only thing is, Torres plays today if he's fit. We all know he plays today, and he probably scores as well. In fact, I'm almost certain he scores. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Looking how that game went today, Ferran Torres definitely scores today. He scores maybe 2 goals or whatever. So it's just a shame, unfortunately. It's just a shame, but it is what it is. John saying, let's go City. I don't think it was a particularly quality performance, but a clean sheet and a W is all I can ask for. A dub down for the kids there, if you don't know what it means. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree, mate. These games are crucial in a season like this, and we are very lucky to have a player like Bernardo. I agree with Vinay massively, mate. We are privileged. He's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Siaka, I mean, I think we would be seeing Delap right now if he wasn't injured. He's had a terrible start to the season, unfortunately. Like, injured, came back for 3 games, got injured again with the EDS. So, unfortunately, Delap, it's just, the timing has been so bad for him. Put it this way, if Delap was fit and firing right now, he would have been on the bench today instead of Kieran Slicker, and he probably would have got on as well. I honestly think he might have got on if we were comfortable. Imagine we were winning 3-0, Delap would have got on today if he was on the bench. It's so frustrating because you feel like the chances are there for him, but he just won't get them because he's injured, unfortunately. He's got injured at the worst possible time. I guarantee you, Delap's at home going, we didn't sign a striker. Aguero left. Gabriel Jesus is out, playing as a winger. Ferran Torres is out, and Sterling can't score at the moment. I literally would have been on the bench. And he would have been on the bench as well, which is really, really, really frustrating. But we have to just remind himself that's life sometimes. And all you can do is, focus, work really hard, and crack on. But that's all you can do at the moment. Sterling, we'll hope he finds a way. To find his best form. It's very, 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 very difficult. It really is. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. And what I say as well, all 200 of you watching, please do me a big favour. Download OneFootball. It'd be massively appreciated. It's a fantastic app and it helps support my channel. Do it. And let me know if you've done it as well in the chat as well. Who was everyone's man of the match today other than I would say Bernardo, because Bernardo's going to be the strongest shout. I would be very, very curious to see who you think. Alexander, it's always the Manchester City website, mate, about tickets. It's always City's website. That's all I ever go to anyway. All right. I'm over the Carragher thing, right? Don't worry, mate. I'm very much over it. Oh, I have no idea, Dabo Gaming. It's crazy in terms of Sterling's value at the moment. I have zero idea. Between the lines saying Cancelo for sure. Sia saying Rodri. Xavi saying other than Burnley it was Rodri. Ronnie saying Rodri. Xavi saying Rodri as well. And Citizen giving Ake a bit of credit. And yeah, I thought he was good actually, man. I think he was good too. Rodri was immense. Stefan Laporte was poor. Okay, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree, actually. Like, with most of these thoughts, I think Rodri's getting a bit of credit now, actually. I'm really happy for Rodri. Ren is asking a question saying, Stephen, to be honest, how good are you players? Are Doyle, Rodgers, Bell, etc.? All these type of players could save City hundreds of millions because they're good enough. I don't think you pick the ones that are worth hundreds of millions, potentially, if that makes sense, mate. Weirdly, I think the ones you haven't mentioned, like McAtee and Cole Palmer and Romeo Lavia, they're the ones that maybe could be that they're good. But, of course, it all takes a little bit of time, mate. I think they all have very top. Yeah, I think they all have top potential. But getting there is a different thing entirely. It really is. It takes a bit of luck, patience, chances. I mean, you're one of the best young players in the world, but if you don't play, you will stagnate. You genuinely will stagnate. So we'll have to see, mate. But some of them could save us an awful lot of money. I hand on heart believe that. I don't know if those ones you mentioned will. I'm not sure. Harwood Bellis is really good, by the way. But my actual hopes for centre back slots. I really rate him, but I think the young lad we've got on loan at Sunderland, Callum Doyle, is our best young centre-back. He's 17, bossing it. You know, he's on loan only in League One, but I think he's fucking phenomenal. A really good young player. And I really like Luke Mbete as well, but Howard Bellis is going to have a very good career. So we'll have to see how he gets on. In terms of actual Tommy Doyle, he's Callum Doyle's namesake. Tommy, I feel like we'll have a very good career. He'll be a Premier League player as well, definitely. But I don't know how far he'll go. But we'll have to see. Let's all laugh at Man United. Yeah, always. United are genuinely in serious trouble. They are in trouble, in my opinion. Oh, it's almost like they didn't need Ronaldo. No, United genuinely didn't need Ronaldo. It was a fucking stupid idea, and I got called an idiot for this, but I genuinely did. But United didn't need Ronaldo. They didn't. He was never the problem. I know, obviously, like this, he was a free transfer, but they put an awful. They spent a bit of money on. No, it wasn't a free transfer, was he? Didn't they put a little bit of a fee in for him as well, and giving massive wages? All he's going to add is a bit of pressure and toxicity around the team. They didn't need him, man. I'm adamant about that. Because Ronaldo, he changed it. They're not as aggressive. They definitely lose a little bit through the middle because he doesn't press anymore. That's not my problem. It's not my problem, but it's going to cost them. It's probably going to cost Solskjaer his job as well, coincidentally, which is kind of funny. A dark irony. Oh yeah, massively. I agree. The problem is not Ronaldo, it's Oli. But I actually don't think Ronaldo helps. I really don't. He ramps up the expectation and pressure. So genuinely, 24 to 31 million. Yeah, it was a lot of money. But either way, I don't think that squad. The thing is, Ronaldo is this fucking massive cherry on top of the cake. He's the shining star. He's the showstopper you put on a beautiful building or whatever. He's the centerpiece of a gorgeous table. But there's no point having a big fancy fucking shining centerpiece, is there? If your fucking table's got wonky legs or whatever, or your cake's gonna come tumbling down because it's not built on any foundations, it's fucking pointless. It's genuinely pointless. It's just very much like, it's just vibes. It's just hoping that they can do something. United haven't got a fucking cake. They've got the ingredients, but they haven't got a fucking cake. So not that it's not a problem. I fucking love it. But they're missing a bit of flour, man. There's no rise in that cake. I know because I've got a celiac wife, so I know what it's like when you haven't got the flour. It doesn't bloody rise and it stays flat, and that's what United are missing. And the flour is boring, but a flour, they're right there, is your number 6. The one that knits it all together. That's what United haven't got. They're a cake without flour. They're just a gluten-free cake, which can be nice sometimes. I'm sorry, Nicola, if you're watching. They can be alright, but they can also taste like fucking ass. They genuinely can. And that's the analogy right there. United are a gluten-free cake. Sometimes nice, usually a flat piece of shit. And I swear I'm right. City should sign Tielemans. I would very much like Tielemans one day. I'm not saying we should sign him, but I wouldn't be against it. But either way, United, I love it. I love it. City, yeah, I just love it. Like United losing, as City win, it's always going to be the best thing, man. It's always going to be the best thing. You missed Jesus on the right. I think we did actually, Frank. Actually, yeah, I think that's. I don't think Mahrez did enough to warrant getting starting ahead of Jesus. They really are. He's really not good enough at the moment, Mahrez. I love him, but at the moment his form isn't quite good enough. And Jesus is playing really, really well. United what's your best analogies? I'll read some of United analogies out. United are a Ferrari with a bad battery, says Mojis. Definitely. They've got fucking a faulty battery. It's spluttering along. You're a legend, Dan. Thank you so much. You're a legend. I'm just happy all that Carragher stuff's quieting down now. Carragher was actually sound about it. He tweeted me afterwards as well, actually, which I thought was kind of sweet of him because I was getting a lot of toxicity, and I tweeted about it because it was driving me mad. And he tweeted at me saying, "Tell them what you told me, i.e. fuck off," which I kind of appreciated that too. Keller, I think you probably got McAtee slightly wrong there. I mean, I don't think he should be the false 9, but I always thought McAtee was smaller than he was anyway as well, Keller, but he's like 5'9", 5'10", so he's bigger than Bernardo, and he's taller than Foden as well, actually. He's obviously got a bit of growing to do, but he's not actually short, McAtee. I'm not saying he's tall, but he's not like a short arse in the way that some of our players are. He's a bit taller than we realise. United are Moment FC. United are a fish with no gills. A flat piece of shit with a cherry on top is still a piece of shit, says Brandholt. Agree. Davey saying United are like a cake made of mince and concrete. That would kill you, to be honest. That would literally kill you. Do you know what they are? They're like the half shepherd's pie, half trifle thing from Friends. It's just fucking weird. A front three should be Grealish, Foden, Jesus, says Frank Winters. Maybe it should be, man. Yeah, Kelly, when you look at him, he's actually taller than you realise. And it's the same, because I thought he was smaller. Then I saw him stood next to Foden, and he's just taller. He's just literally taller by like that much, so he's notably taller. To be honest, I don't really think Ollie Watkins is any near Manchester City's level or Mighty Fish. You've got to bear in mind that just because someone's a half-decent finisher doesn't mean they're good enough for Man City. I don't think he'd barely play because his overall touch, his work rate, his link-up play, it's just not good enough. And you have to be more than just a little bit of a finisher to play for this Manchester City side. I know we want that, but if Guardiola would have him on the bench, he'd rather play Jesus. And I probably would agree with that, actually, to be honest, because I think Jesus is a better striker. I think Jesus would start ahead of Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa, so, you know. Lou back saying, help me with Cancelo. Lou back with a super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, this is a controversial take here from Lou back. Says, help me with Cancelo. Sloppy on the ball, loose with his passes, liability defence, loses the ball a lot, but everyone raves. I'm missing something. I'm going to have to politely disagree, mate. I think he did go into his shell a little bit in the second half, but, you know, sometimes he can be those things, but I don't think he is those things, if that makes sense. I think there's a difference between sometimes being those things and actually being that thing. I think occasionally he can be sloppy on the ball, he can be sometimes loose with his passes, and sometimes he can be bad defensively. And sometimes he can lose the ball a bit, but I don't think he does it a lot. And I think in the first half, he was fantastic, actually, if I'm being honest, mate. And also, he's had really good games for us at times where he's absolutely incisive, and his movement and his use of the ball is key to how we play. But you're entitled to your opinion, Lou. But it's interesting to see you see that. But either way, man, thanks for the super chat. I mean, I think sometimes you can do that, but once again, you got to, in my opinion, doing that sometimes doesn't mean you are that, if that makes sense. It depends on the frequency, and I think he has more good games than bad games. So I like him, man. I personally like him. Yeah, I agree with someone who says he makes a lot of high risk passes, so that's probably what causes the perception, because some of it comes off, and he can do it sometimes. But overall, I think he's a very, very good player. I think he can get better. I've said this before. I think Cancelo can definitely get better. I think his final ball sometimes can improve even further. 1 second. But basically, yeah, I think he can get better and better and better, and I think hopefully you will do. But guys, thank you very much for watching this. You're all absolutely awesome. Manchester City have won 2-0 against Burnley. You know, United have lost. It's been absolutely great. I bloody loved it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm gonna go and chill, relax, and wind down now. I've got a banging headache today. I've tried to put as much energy into this video as I can, but my head is absolutely throbbing. So I'm tired. I just a headache. Don't worry. I've had a long week, a long stressful week. For now, though, City have won. won 2-0. Please do go and download OneFootball. It's fantastic, I promise you. It was a good, fun game today. A good grinding win. I agree with that. I think that's pretty much all as it was. Burnley were decent, City were better, and that's pretty much the end of it. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Please give this video a like. Never felt more like singing the blues. City win, United lose, oh City. You got me singing the blues. 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. See you later, guys. On.